Look, I'm not made of money. I watch where my pennies go. Interesting fact. Did you know that there are no more physical pennies in Canada? If you pay cash, they round up or down in 5-cent increments. But electronically, the 1 cent does exist. That fact is not as interesting as I thought it would be. I'm not a professional gamer. I game maybe 2-3 times a week. My rig is nothing special. Right now I'm sporting an Athlon X4 880K, I believe. My video card is a 2GB R7 360, so definitely not high end. I'm doing 8GB of DDR3 RAM at 1600 MHz and running off an SSD. There is a link in the video if you want to see my actual gaming rig. Here. Lately I've been playing a lot of Fortnite. 9 solo wins, baby! And when my daughter was interested in playing with me, I was so excited. She started playing on her mobile, but it was really slow with the Wi-Fi, and it was really painful to play with her because it kept cutting out. So we decided to have her start playing on the PC with me. I didn't want to spend much for her computer, but I did want the experience to be really smooth. I did my research and finally concluded that an i5-4570 would work just fine to run the games we would play. Now this processor is about 7 years old, but is still a very capable processor. I already had a GTX 1050 that I really wasn't utilizing, so now I just had to find a suitable computer for as cheap as I could. I looked online at different sources including Kijiji, Craigslist, and Amazon. Craigslist stinks in Canada, by the way. As I already had a GTX 1050, I wasn't willing to spend over $200 to $300 for this desktop portion of the build, as you can see here from the Kijiji and the Amazon ads. My goal was to spend around $100, and trust me, that's a tall order to find something that cheap, especially here in Canada. In the end, I found this seller on eBay. It's called Goodwill Retech, and it has a really good story. They hire workers who have challenges, and proceeds go to their charity. So after going through the auction process, I finally won this computer for about $123, $24 with all the taxes and shipping included. And I hate paying shipping that's almost as much as the item or more, but I really couldn't find anything that was comparable. Again, coming from Canada, shipping always kills us when we're purchasing anything from the US. Now, this is sporting the i5-4570, 12 gigabytes of DDR3 RAM at 1333 megahertz, and a 1 terabyte hard drive. I thought these were pretty impressive specs. I really couldn't find anything near that price. There's a Windows 7 key in here right now on the top of the machine. I'm going to see if that works or not. Might not, but I'm going to just give it a shot. It looked like it accepted it. Got my Windows installed and was ready to roll. I thought it would just be an easy install of the graphics card, but man, was I wrong. Alright, I got to perform some surgery because it seems like these little tabs here, which you'd think that they compress, but they don't. So I got to get rid of these little nubbins here somehow. So I cut the posts out and put some, this is just some black duct tape because the edges are so sharp and I didn't want to file them down and get metal deposits in the case. So a little bit ugly and ghetto, but the graphics card is in there now. I can't believe this. The other thing that worried me was the 240 watt output of the power supply. With about 66% of the watts being used, I think it should be okay, as the GTX 1050 uses a max of 75 watts and the i5 uses 84 watts. Now it's running real nice. waste. Oh.
Haha, dead. Oh! Dapu.
The gameplay is smooth and issue-free. The 1TB mechanical hard drive is a little slower, and an SSD would improve load times, but not so much that I go out and spend another $30 to $40 for one. Remember, the SSD won't improve your actual gameplay, only your load times. I'm in the process of installing a 140mm fan to improve the cooling, as the ventilation in this case is limited to the small PSU and the small CPU fan. Now, taking into account the GTX 1050, if I got it used for around $100, this build isn't so bad to get into some decent gaming. Being in the Canadian market instantly puts me at a disadvantage trying to get something at a good price, but in this instance I think I did a pretty good job. Anyway, check out the Goodwill Retech store on eBay. It is through auction, so you just have to go through that process, but again, if you're patient and there's tons of inventory, you don't just have to like, oh my gosh, there's one there, you have to get that one. No, don't worry, there's plenty of inventory there. So good, I don't think I'll ever buy new hardware again. Well, thanks for making it to the end of this video. It's time for the dad joke of the day. My wife told me to stop impersonating a flamingo. I had to put my foot down. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Ladybug adventure.